Man of many mistakes. I made them all so you don't have to, but you can if you want to. It's an early morning here today in the northeast of America, way up in the mountains. And yes, it's getting cold. If you can't tell already. Almost time to take it inside in front of the fire. But until then, we'll just enjoy the brisk air. The leaves are turning. Autumn is here. The seasons are changing. It's an amazing time right now. As much chaos is going on and as much evil is in the world, sometimes we just got to take that 5 to 10 seconds of appreciation and watch how the world still works and how it still functions amongst all this dysfunction. But I wanted to talk to you today about before we get into that, I want to thank everybody that leaves me comments. It's not many of you, but there's some faithfuls that leave me comments, and it confirms that we're moving the needle in the right direction. We're moving up, slowly but surely. And that's all I'm here for, is to get closer and closer to the light. And speaking of the light, I want to tell you a story that made me realize, this was my confirmation, that the Most High is real, that this is where I need to put my energy and my trust. Big mistake I made, and with his help, I made it through. So before I get into the story, I just want to hear from you guys as well. When was the first time that you realized he was real? When's the first time that you really said, wow, there is a God, Jesus is real? Drop it in the comments. Let's have a rapport. I'd like to go back and forth with a lot of you guys just to make sure that we're on the same page and we're walking in the same direction. But long time ago, the year circa 1996, I bought a boat. Now let's keep that in context. When I say a boat, I don't mean a hip hop boat. I don't mean a yacht. I don't mean with a captain and servants and champagne and all that stuff. No, just a boat. All right. It was probably a 25-footer, a 20-footer maybe, ski boat. It sat 6 people. And one of those little boats that you could get behind and pull your skis on, whatever you call them. Hell, I didn't know. It just looked good to me. It was cheap. And I had a fixation for being on the water. I'm a Pisces, so put that together. But back in 96, I'm on the boat. The month was July. The day was July 4th. Never forget it. My kids and I, and my girlfriend at the time, prepared to go and watch the fireworks on July 4th at a place called Playland up in Rye, New York. And the thing back then was to go on the water where Playland was built and watch the fireworks go off on July 4th. So everyone with a boat used to do that in the area. You can imagine the congregation. And we'd get out there before the sun went down, right at dusk. Get situated. We'd bring some food, some drinks, and just some good times to wait for the fireworks. So we're out there, and the sun is going down, and the kids are excited. At this point, they were about, I'd say 5 and 3 years old. Yeah, they were 2 years apart. And so we're out there on the water, watching the fireworks, an amazing show, and now it's time to go home. Naturally, it's dark, and we're satisfied, time to push home. Now, here's my big mistake. I went out on the water unprepared. I didn't have all the emergency equipment that they tell you to bring. Well, naturally, we had life rafts and we had the minimal amount of stuff, but we didn't have the flares and we didn't have the radio. And this taught me a big lesson this night. So we're heading back in from the fireworks show. It's about a 20-minute ride from where we were back to the dock. And in the body of water that we're in is called the Long Island Sound. And one thing, if you know anything about the Long Island Sound, there's a lot of rocks under the water. There's a lot going on that you can't see. A lot. And there's certain parts of the water where you have to ride in order to stay free from the rocks. You're starting to see where this is going, right? So we're going back. We're watching all the other boats come back, and everything is smooth sailing until it's not. I'm like, whoa. The engine goes out. Excuse me, Barbara, let me just finish telling this story, all right? The engine goes out. I'm starting to see smoke. The kids are panicking. Girlfriend's panicking. And now I'm left to be the one to keep it cool and get us up out of this. Now, mind you, before I knew it, all the other boats that were coming in the dock were gone. And so whatever light was around was no more light. We're stuck. We're in the rocks. My propeller broke. So the engine no longer works. I have to get in the water to pull us out of the rock bed. Okay? Now, mind you, pitch black, Long Island Sound, tiny boat, 4 people, 4 souls on the boat. I get out the boat, I pull it out the rocks, I get all wet, seaweed all over me and everything, and then I get back in the boat. And now we're just stuck, because what else don't I have? Well, I don't have paddles. And I was warned to bring paddles. Always keep paddles on your boat. But I didn't listen. So now we're just drifting in the water. Drifting so much that I have no idea where we're at. So I have to drop anchor. Drop the anchor. Now we're stable wherever we are. Pitch black. Can't see anything. Anything. The one thing that I did have was a flashlight. I had a flashlight. I turned the flashlight on, and after many prayers, my flashlight was noticed by another light. I see off in the distance this little light that gets bigger and bigger as it comes closer, and I'm hoping it's a boat. I'm hoping it's help. After many prayers, this light gets closer and closer, and it meets my light. And there's a fella on this boat that says, "Hey, can I help you out?" And I said, "Yes, you can." He threw me a line. I tied the line onto my boat, pulled up the anchor, and we proceeded back to the dock. My kids with big tears in their eyes, my girl with big tears in her eyes, we're all sitting there, and I'm just having my moment. I'm trying to keep it cool because naturally I'm the leader. So I'm keeping it cool, but on the inside, I'm just everywhere. I'm all over the place. But I did realize at that moment, he was real. I did realize at that moment, it was all out of my hands. I had no control of the situation. And I had to surrender. I had to give up and have faith that we would be helped out. And we got back to shore, and we got back to the dock. And that day is when I knew the Most High was real. I just had to figure out moving forward how to stay in his good graces, how to stay in his light. And it took me a while. But I figured it out. So 1996 until now is when I knew he was real. and I continue to know he's real. And the only thing that kept me out of the darkness was the light. Share your story. I'd love to hear it. Man of many mistakes. I made them all so you don't have to, but you can if you want to. If you like the content and it's helping you out in your soul a little bit, subscribe. A lot more to come. Thank you.
Whoa, whoa.